What is up, everybody? It has been a long time, but it is for a reason. I have been moving for the past like 2 months, and we are moving from New Hampshire and going to Virginia. It was a really quick decision, a really quick move, and I have just been completely destroyed and swamped. I've been getting around 50 miles a week, and then for the past 3 weeks, I've actually been able to start building a little training block of about 50 miles, then 60 miles, and then today we're going to end this week with about 70 to 72 miles, depending on how good this run goes. Now, this setting may look a little bit different. It's because I've been living in a tent for the past month. My wife got a job in Virginia, so we had to hurry up and get her down here. She's staying with her parents, and the babies are staying with the parents, and I can't stay with them just because I'm super allergic to cats. They have 3 big fluffy cats, and I will actually die if I stay in their house. So I stayed in New Hampshire. I sold the house. I packed everything up by myself. I sold the house, got everything ready, and then instead of staying up there for a month longer while we find a house in Virginia and close on that, I decided to set up this tent in the grandparents' carport, and I've been living in a tent for the last month. Don't feel bad for me because I have it pretty well set up. I have my computer, a bed, I have some like climate control stuff in the back and everything, just so I could be near my girls, just because family is always first. I didn't want to spend, 2 months away from my family if I could help it. So that means setting up this tent and living in a carport for a little bit. We are really, really close to closing on the house. So hopefully next week I'll be living in an actual house. But that's not what this video is about. Today we're going to be hitting a 22-mile long run, and we're going to be mixing it up a little bit. Virginia has a lot more hills and oscillation while you're running, especially on the roads. I actually get almost more elevation gain on the roads than when I actually hit up the trails. So I'm going to be hitting the roads for an hour, then I'll be moving over to like a trail system, or it might be switched. I might go trail, then road, and then do a quick little track session if my body feels up to it. So I'll be hitting those 3 types of terrain while I'm trying to get a full 22 miles. I actually forgot like most of my running gear. I accidentally packed it all away when I was moving to New Hampshire because I was kind of scrambling around. So I kind of have to do a mashup and adapt to what I have in Virginia. So instead of carrying everything like I normally do in my pack, what I'm going to do is kind of do aid stations. So I'll go out for about an hour, I'll come back to the house, and I will kind of hit it like an aid station, and then go back out for an hour, hit it like an aid station, and then go back out for an hour. I'll have this bottle. This is just like one of my kids' bottles. It's about 600 milliliters, and I will have 200 calories of Tailwind and clean water in here. And then I will also be eating a honey stinger waffle. So these honey stinger waffles are about 120 to 150 calories, and I've been really enjoying these a lot more than like gels or gummies, just because I'm pretty sure these are closer to actual food. When I take in too much simple sugar like Tailwind and then gels that are really fast burning sugars, it seems to upset my stomach a lot more than when I'm actually having something solid that takes a little bit longer for my body to digest and to utilize. So this 200 calories of Tailwind, this is going to be quick. This is going to be instant, pretty much instant energy, probably like 15 minutes before you actually really start feeling it. And then the slower release is going to be these honey stinger waffles. And this 2 mix has been really, really helpful. I'm going to start testing out a lot more rice-based nutrition in the future, like mochi and just white steamed rice, because I eat that, I'm Filipino as fuck, so I eat rice like 2 to 3 times a day usually, just in my normal diet. So I really want to start introducing that into my running because I know my stomach can handle a shitload of rice. So if I'm eating that on a daily basis, why not fuel with it? So that's going to be my next step on my nutrition goals of trying to figure out something that is perfect for my body and perfect for like my actual stomach that I've trained my entire life. So once again, I didn't have my pack, so basically what I'll just be wearing is my naked belt, regular shirt, sunglasses, some Body Glide, and I'll have my phone, and I always like to use the Samsung Live Buds. on top of the nutrition that I'm going to be taking in while I'm actually running, I already actually had breakfast. It was about an hour to 2 hours. I like to let the, stomach settle and use the bathroom, whatever it may be, after breakfast. I had about a cup and a half of white steamed rice, the white jasmine rice, maybe a cup and a half to 2 cups of white steamed rice, and then I had 2 eggs and a sausage patty. So very very easy to digest protein, and then a lot of really slow release carbs. Well, it's pretty fast, but slower burning carbs than like regular sugar. So I eat a lot of rice for breakfast to get that really carb heavy breakfast, and then really easy to digest carbohydrates. I also had a bunch of coffee, and that's just because it's just normal intake of coffee, probably about 16 ounces of coffee. And on top of that, what I drank was about 1,000 milliliters of water. And I only say it in milliliters, that's about 17 ounces, just because those blue flex bottles or blue soft flasks from Solomon or Hydro Pack, those are 500 milliliters each. So let's get going and let's get this 22 miles done. All right, so this is me coming into that first aid station. I did a little bit longer than I wanted to on the trail. It's probably like an hour and a half, so I was pretty thirsty, a lot hotter than I expected also with that direct sunlight. So I had a windproof jacket that I tied on my waist, straight 90s style, but tied it on and just kept going. I was pretty thirsty. That bottle had about, I think, like 25 fluid ounces of fluid, so I drank all that. I was shoving some honey stinger waffles in my mouth, and then I was just messing with my wife that I saw through the window. So me dancing around being an asshole. Nope. Fueled up real quick. That whole aid station probably took about a minute and a half. After I shoved all that fuel down my throat, I refilled the bottle, put some tailwind in it, grabbed another honey stinger waffle, and then I hand carried it on the rest of my run, where I went to a track that was about a mile or a mile and a half away and tried to do some mile repeats that ended up kicking my ass. So enjoy the rest of this run, and then we'll have a nice outro. That was the run. Probably after that first mile repeat, I was absolutely destroyed. My legs just felt like bricks. That's something that I've been working on a lot and focusing on, is trying to call on my legs when I'm really tired and have them perform at a higher level when I'm just full of lactic acid and destroyed. So that's something that I'm really working on and that I will be focusing on while I lead up to the next 100-miler. These 3 workouts that you guys are seeing me do right now are 3 things that I do after pretty much every single run, and it's specifically only for my knees. So I've always had really bad knee problems, and these 3 workouts and a couple other recovery things that I do for my knees have been really, really helping for the past like year. It's really been night and day with how bad my knees actually were performing and how they feel now. I hope you guys enjoyed this run. It was an absolute smoker. Those last little repeats, I think I ended up doing 2 to 3 mile repeats at the end, and they were not fast. They were probably like 8-minute mile per pace, and I was pushing as hard as I could. My heart rate was probably getting up to like 165, 170, way too high. I probably pushed a little bit too hard, but got the work done, got the 22 miles in, and I ended up with about 72 miles for the week. So we're leading up into a new 100 miler that we're going to be going on. I'm going to announce that pretty soon once everything's locked in. I got everything signed up and my crew and everything all set up and ready to go. And I'll announce what 100 miler that I'm going to be working on. It's going to be a long, if I do get into this one, it's going to be a nice long build up. I'll probably do like a 50K, a 100K, or a 50 miler. And then I'll hit the end of this season, probably around September, 100 miler. I'm super excited about it. Something that I've been wanting to do again ever since I started running ultra marathons. So this season is going to be really interesting. I'm going to put in a lot of work. I'm finally, if you can notice, I'm finally back in my house as I'm finishing editing this video. So everything's falling into place. We're going to hit it hard. We're going to stay consistent. We're going to get out there, be average savages. Make sure that you get out there, turn that knob, kick some ass fucking every single day. Try to put yourself into somewhat of an uncomfortable or painful situation so then you can grow from that pain, grow from that freaking consistency, and achieve your goals, because that's what it's all about. Consistency, getting out there, kicking some ass. Let's go, let's get it, and let's become average savages.